Welcome back to my channel. This is your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. Some of you may now be eligible to receive a cash bonus this month. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell just stated that the economy is continuing to recover and that high inflation is just temporary. The three winners of this week's Walmart gift card giveaway are Victoria Nolan, Donna Durbin, and Joaquim Raposo. Congratulations to all three of you. Remember everyone that next Friday, I will be giving away more gift cards. Please tune in for more details to the new giveaways. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said that the United States would be on track to meet its climate goals in the next decade with measures introduced in 2 infrastructure bills, along with many efforts by states and the federal government. President Biden in April hiked the United States goal for slashing economy-wide greenhouse gas emissions to 50 to 52% from 2005. 2 measures in particular in the bills would help put the United States on the path to dramatically slash emissions: the Clean Electricity Payment Program and the Senate Finance Committee's tax package on clean energy and vehicles. Both of these measures are in the wider bill that Democrats in the Senate hope to pass over the next few months, using a process called budget reconciliation, which bypasses the chamber's usual rules, requiring 60 votes to pass most legislation. The passage of the budget resolution unlocks a reconciliation process, which Democrats plan to use to pass Biden's agenda with simple majorities, bypassing a Senate filibuster that could kill the bill. But the agreement threatens to break the 2-track link that Nancy Pelosi had established between a bipartisan infrastructure bill, which has relatively broad support, and the reconciliation bill, which faces a more difficult path, with Democrats needing to resolve internal disagreements over the size of the package. Although Nancy Pelosi wants to advance the 2 bills together in order to maximize internal unity and minimize dissent, Democrats will have a tough time completing the sprawling reconciliation bill before September 27th. If the bipartisan infrastructure bill passes on that date, Democrats could then face potentially crippling infighting over the size of the reconciliation bill, with moderates pushing for substantial reductions in spending.
There are certain conservative Democrats like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema who do not support H.R. 1. I personally believe that a lot of this has to do with dark money and the checks on eliminating and really curtailing the power of lobbyists and dark money, but that's an aside. Nevertheless, there is resistance to passing H.R. 1 among Democrats in the Senate. What they have said is, we will not pass H.R. 1. I have resistance to H.R. 1, but we are open to H.R. 4, the second part of the puzzle, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And so what the House has done is that we just passed H.R. 4 this week to see if some of these conservative Democrats will keep their word in passing that. H.R. 4, again, has those pre-clearance provisions in order for us, as we go into redistricting this year, to help protect against some of not just some of these issues with respect to gerrymandering, but also just changes to voting rights writ large, which, as we also saw this week, the state of Texas recently passed very draconian and extremely alarming provisions to attack the right to vote in the state of Texas. And so the John Lewis Voting Rights Act will help reestablish that preclearance. And from there, we hope that when the Senate reconvenes, they pass it as quickly as possible, because the timing on this is extremely sensitive. The census data was just handed over about 2 weeks ago. And with that data, states are starting to gear up for the process of redrawing district lines, even here in the state of New York.
A group of liberal Democrats signaled their intention to stick to Nancy Pelosi's plan, with a focus on passing the larger and, in their eyes, more important reconciliation bill first. Representative Pramila Jayapal, chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, which has nearly 100 members, released a statement saying, "Our position remains unchanged. We will work to first pass the Build Back Better reconciliation bill so we can deliver these once-in-a-lifetime generation, popular, and urgently needed investments to poor and working families, and then pass the infrastructure bill to invest in our roads, bridges, and waterways. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said on Friday that the United States economic recovery appears to be making progress, but also warned that the central bank needs to be careful not to tighten its policy before enough Americans can return to work. Powell had told reporters, "Today, with substantial slack remaining in the labor market and the crisis continuing, such a mistake could be very harmful." Jerome Powell's warning hints at a more cautious approach to pulling back on its policy. But the Fed chairman did acknowledge rising inflation, which he described as a cause for concern. Data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis showed prices rising by 4.2% on a year-over-year basis, a pace that has not been seen in over 30 years. The nearly $1 trillion in federal relief sent to U.S. households through the 3 stimulus checks is credited with reducing poverty and helping millions of American families weather this crisis. But with more spreading, some states are also moving to distribute payments. There is a handful of U.S. states that are tapping their own stimulus funds or surpluses to help specific residents, such as low-income households or teachers, with direct aid reaching more than 25 million people starting this month. At the same time, many U.S. households have already spent the third stimulus checks, which the IRS started distributing this past March. In another development that could weigh on people's income, the pandemic unemployment benefits are set to end on September 6, cutting nearly 8 million jobless workers off the rolls. About 1 in 4 households across the United States is struggling to pay their household expenses. The Biden administration has also said it will not extend unemployment benefits beyond September 6, although some officials noted that states could use stimulus funding to extend their own programs. Right now, California is providing up to $1,100 in Golden State stimulus to all eligible residents. The state of Maryland authorized stimulus checks early this year, but with a catch. The payments are only available to those who claim the earned income tax credit on their tax returns. This is a tax geared to low to moderate income earners. Also, Governor Ron DeSantis earlier this year approved $1,000 bonuses for the state's more than 170,000 teachers and principals in its K-12 public schools and public charter schools. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here tonight. Congratulations to all 3 winners of this week's Walmart gift card giveaway. Next Friday, I will be giving away more gift cards. Please tune in my upcoming videos for more details to the new giveaway. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a very blessed weekend.